Imagine this. You're standing alone in your own house. The doors are locked, the windows are shut, but every instinct in your body is screaming that someone is watching you. You spin around, but there's absolutely nothing there. You think you're losing your mind, but the terrifying truth is, they are standing right in front of you. You just can't see them. Today, we are breaking down the story of a woman whose greatest enemy isn't a ghost or a hallucination, but a force that no eye on earth can detect. Every single second of this story is packed with pure anxiety and suspense. So lock your doors, because this one will mess with your head. Let's get into it. Our story kicks off at 3 a.m. A woman named Cecilia wakes up in a state of pure terror. Sleeping next to her is her husband, Adrian Griffin. Adrian is a billionaire and a world-renowned optics engineer, but behind closed doors, he is a dangerous, highly controlling sociopath. He dictates every single second of Cecilia's life, what she eats, what she wears, and even what she thinks. But tonight, Cecilia has a plan. She heavily drugged Adrian's water with sleeping pills. She quietly packs a small bag, bypasses the high-tech security systems, and disables the cameras. This house is basically a fortress, and escaping is almost impossible. She manages to vault over the wall and sprints through the dark woods. Waiting on the road is her sister, Emily, in a getaway car. Just as Cecilia gets in, Adrian bursts out of the darkness and smashes the car window with his bare hands. He desperately tries to drag Cecilia out, but Emily floors the gas. Cecilia finally escapes her living hell. 2 weeks go by. Cecilia is now hiding out at the home of her childhood friend, James, a police officer, and his teenage daughter, Sydney. The trauma runs so deep that Cecilia suffers from severe agoraphobia. She's absolutely terrified to even step outside. She knows Adrian is looking for her. But one day, Emily arrives with news that completely shatters reality. Adrian is dead. He supposedly committed suicide in his mansion. At first, Cecilia refuses to believe it. It isn't until she meets with Adrian's brother, Tom, who is also Adrian's lawyer, that it becomes real. Tom reveals that Adrian left Cecilia a massive chunk of his fortune, $5 million. The only catch? She cannot be ruled mentally incompetent, and she cannot commit a crime. Thinking she is finally free, Cecilia starts putting her life back together. She even offers to pay for Sydney's college tuition, but she has no idea that the real nightmare is just beginning. Soon, bizarre things start happening around the house. One morning, Cecilia is cooking breakfast. She turns her back for just a second, and the stove dial cranks itself to max heat. A massive grease fire erupts, almost burning the house down. That same night, while Cecilia is sleeping, her blanket slowly starts sliding off her body. She wakes up, but the room is empty. However, on the floor, an invisible foot steps onto a dropped shirt, leaving a clear imprint. A dark, unseen energy is stalking her every move. The next day, Cecilia goes to a high-stakes job interview. But when she opens her bag to show her portfolio, her drawings are missing. In their place, the exact same bottle of sleeping pills she used to drug Adrian. Her blood runs cold. In that split second, she realizes the horrifying truth. Adrian isn't dead. Cecilia rushes home and tries to convince everyone that Adrian faked his death. Because he is a genius optics engineer, she believes he invented a suit that bends light, making him completely invisible. But nobody believes her. They all think her trauma has finally pushed her into a total mental breakdown. And this is where the Invisible Man plays his sickest trick. One evening, Sydney is sitting in the living room. Out of nowhere, an invisible hand winds up and slaps her across the face. Sydney screams, and when James rushes in, the only person standing near her is Cecilia. Believing Cecilia has lost her mind and attacked his daughter, James kicks her out of the house. To make matters worse, the unseen force sends a highly abusive email to Emily from Cecilia's account, destroying her relationship with her sister. Adrian has successfully isolated Cecilia from everyone she loves. With absolutely nothing left to lose, Cecilia takes a cab straight back to Adrian's mansion. She needs hard proof. She breaks into his ultra-secure basement laboratory, and what she finds confirms her worst nightmare. She finds an advanced micro-optic suit. It bends light perfectly, rendering the wearer completely invisible. She immediately hides the suit in a vent so she can use it as evidence later. She calls Emily to meet her at a crowded public restaurant to tell her the truth, thinking she'll be safe in a public place. But Adrian is already there. Guys, this is the most shocking scene in the movie. Just as Cecilia starts explaining, a steak knife lifts off the table, floats in midair, and violently slashes Emily's throat. The knife then drops directly into Cecilia's hand. The entire restaurant screams in horror. Adrian just framed Cecilia for the brutal murder of her own sister. Cecilia is immediately arrested and locked inside a high-security psychiatric ward. While doing routine blood work, the doctors discover something terrifying. Cecilia is pregnant with Adrian's child. Tom visits her and makes a sickening offer. If she drops the Invisible Man story and agrees to go back to Adrian, he will get all the charges dropped. But Cecilia has a master plan. Knowing Adrian is in the room watching her, she steals a fountain pen and pretends to slit her own wrists. The invisible Adrian rushes forward and grabs her hand to stop her from harming his unborn child. The moment she feels his grip, she viciously stabs the pen straight into the invisible suit. The optics graphics glitch, and the suit begins to flash, finally exposing a humanoid figure to the security cameras. A brutal, chaotic fight breaks out in the asylum hallway. The Invisible Man slaughters the guards, but he is forced to flee outside into the pouring rain. The raindrops hit the suit, perfectly outlining his terrifying silhouette as he escapes. The Invisible Man rushes to James's house to kill Sydney, knowing it will break Cecilia's heart. A massive fight ensues, and James is nearly beaten to death, but Cecilia arrives just in time. She blasts the room with a fire extinguisher, completely covering the invisible suit in white powder. She raises her gun and shoots him squarely in the chest. The man drops dead. Trembling, Cecilia pulls off the optic mask. But guys, it's not Adrian, it's his brother Tom. When the police raid Adrian's mansion, they find Adrian tied up in his own basement, claiming Tom kidnapped him and orchestrated the whole thing. But Cecilia knows the truth. Adrian used his own brother as a pawn to give himself the ultimate alibi. The climax of this movie is pure cinematic genius. Cecilia agrees to have dinner with Adrian one last time. She tries to get him to confess, but he plays the victim perfectly. Excusing herself, Cecilia steps away to the restroom. The camera stays on Adrian. Suddenly, his arm forcefully jerks upward on its own. An invisible force makes him pick up a steak knife and aggressively slice his own throat. He bleeds out on his own dining table. James, who was listening to a hidden wire outside, kicks the door down. He finds Adrian dead, and Cecilia acting perfectly shocked, crying, "He killed himself!" But James sees right through it. Inside the bag slung over, Cecilia's shoulder is the second invisible suit she had hidden in the lab earlier. She put it on in the bathroom, walked out, and murdered Adrian using his exact same trick. Cecilia walks out of the mansion, finally a free woman. She outsmarted a sociopathic genius and beat him at his own terrifying game. And that is the mind-blowing story of the Invisible Man. If you want more top-tier cinematic breakdowns like this, hit that follow button and let me know which movie we should cover next.